So we can go ahead now and start attaching this to our album, which is the fun part. So again, I'm going to use my white double-sided tape. So I'm putting this all the way around this time. Try and get as close up to the edges as you can. As I say, if you haven't got a particularly strong one, use red. It's always good. Put a bit of wet glue on there, so and then right up close on this spine. I do hope you're enjoying this project, and if you are, please do leave me some feedback. You can leave it on my website or on the bottom here of the YouTube video. I'd love to see what you think of this, and if you've enjoyed making it, if you get around to making one. So I'm going to take the back piece off here, and I'm going to try and do my 2 wings till I know I've got it where I want it to be. It's a little tip that does help you if you want to line things up. Another thing, if you're not very confident about just sticking straight down onto double-sided tape and you are a bit worried, is if you put a little bit of Pritt stick on top of your tape, it gives you a little bit more wiggle room, but when it all dries, it dries off fine. So that's another quick tip I can give you. So I've got my balls here prepared. I've gone around and I've painted a little bit round on each of them because you are going to see some of the board when we stick these to it. If you haven't got MDF or mount board or anything like that, you can use a couple of cereal boxes put together. That's quite alright, not a problem at all. And now I just need to line this up centrally. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure a centre line and measure a centre line on here, and I'm going to do it on the hinge that's I'm not seeing. Right, there we go. I've just made a centre line there, a centre line there, so I know when I'm lining it up, it's central. Now I'm putting this edge piece onto this edge piece here. So right onto that edge seam. Make sure I'm happy with that. I'm just going to come in here and take this bottom piece out of the way if I can, because I won't be able to get the wings out on that. That's it. I'll take that bottom piece out of the way. I've got my 2 wings and I've got the bottom piece out of the way. So I'm happy with that where it is. I'm just going to go for it. Pull that out, and we can open it up and have a look. There we go. So I'm going to just take my tags out of the way for a minute so we can burnish this all down. Okay, that's the front cover on. Pop those back in there, and then we can go ahead and add the back cover. Oh, I've lost another tag. They're all falling out back pocket now, so let's take these all out of the way, I think, for a minute while we just do this part. So we now go ahead and do the same on the back here. Move this rubbish out of the way. Know how sticky this tape is, but it's sticking to me. comes off. There's one. Two. And I do 2 wings again with these side pieces just so I can line it all up. Sorry, I think I might have come out of camera shot there, people. Right, I'm going to do a couple of little marks again, just for my own personal lining it up. Don't want at this stage to mess it up that I haven't got it level. That's 3, into the last board here. That's 3.5. Right, I'm going to attach this last board on my pencil marks, get those to line up. Okay, I'm going to just pull that off and pull that off. Just turn this round. Tags back in there, and then we can go ahead and add our outside hinge. Keep it nicely in there. So that's now all starting to come together now. You can see how it's all starting to work. Okay, so we now need to add the outside strip here. This is going to be, as I say, this was my 7 inch by 3 3/4, and I've scored it 1 inch in on each side. So if we just fold those inch score lines in, they're going to be the bits that is actually going to be on my outsides. Don't necessarily have to score those. I'm just having a look at it in a moment. That's it. That all fits nicely on there. The piece I'm using is a different colour green, but I don't think it matters too much on there. Okay, so we can now start going and attaching that. Might go ahead and use the other side. Right, so I'm using my thick tape again, and we are going to have to do a couple of wings on this, I think. Now, if you remember from the first one that we did, we attached this and then we attached our front and back pattern papers over the top. And that's absolutely fine, that's not a problem at all. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one side first and then the other. But let's take the tape off one. Tuck your ends in if you've got ends like that are showing. Get that all the way down here. Get that all burnished down. And we can stick this first piece on. Think which way to do it for ease. I think I'm going to go this way again. So I'm going to, this should be the same size as your cover, so it should be able to go down without too much fuss. There we go. Burnish down there, that's nice. Right, I'll take this one off. I'm going to attach this now over onto the other side. That's right. Oh, it's not wanting to play ball, is it? Put a second strip on here ready. and then you can bend that round to attach the back. As I say, if you don't have chip or mount board, do not worry. You can use cereal boxes, you can use anything you wish really. I'm going to now bend this over, and it's only this score line piece that I want attaching. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to butt it up like that. Now I'm going to lay it across. Okay. Probably all upside down and inside out. There we go. So that is now our covers on. Okay, that's not a problem. Got that little bit there's a bit sticking out the top, so I'm going to just trim that. So this is at this stage where you can trim any pieces off you're not happy with. Same there. Must have made it just a bit too big. There we go. Right, so I'm happy with that. So now we can go ahead and attach some front and back covers. Now the tags I've made, personally, I think they're sticking out a bit too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim those down. So I'm going to take a bit more off these tags that we made. Only because I don't like the way they're looking, because they're sticking out too much for my liking. So I'm just going to take a slither off that one. Round those edges off, and then we can pop that back in. It's great to have the extra photo mats, and it's nice because this album is taking, I think I worked it out, about 28 photographs, so it's quite a substantial amount of photographs, which is good. So take a bit more of that one as well. I seem to have lots of rubbish around me, which I don't like crafting like this, but nearly finished now. So I'll pop this one in here. Let's see what that looks like now. See, because I've got these big tags on, it's quite these tabs to pull it out. You know there's something there, but that means they can stick in a bit more. Right, I'm happier with that now. Right, I'm going to go ahead and stick my back cover on. I picked a piece of paper for that, and it's disappeared. I'll put it back in here. Yes, I did. I'm going to go for some stripey on here, so it all coordinates in nicely. There's a bit of a rough edge there from the where it came out the pad, so I'm just going to trim that off. And I'm just going to ink a bit of the edge of that one with some Distress ink. Not as in go mad with it, I'm just going around the edge of it, just to finish that off. And then we can attach that onto there. That's lovely. I think I'm going to use the tape again. I would normally use wet glue, but because I want to walk you through the album, I'm going to use the tape today. But I would have normally used my Calal wet glue for this purpose. In fact, I might just put the tape on each end and then I can use the Calal in the middle. So let me just do a couple of wings again. Yeah, so I'm going to have my stripes coming down. So I'm going to put some wet glue on as well. That's the other good thing about this Calal, it sticks, you know, wood, canvas, material. So I've even stick the kitchen worktop down with it. So it's very strong and very good. So I'd highly recommend it. I've got a blob there and I want to get that out of the way because I do not want that bubbling up my papers. Right, so I'm going to now line this up. I wonder whether I can open my album. I don't want to do that now. I will just line it up. So I'll just stand up to line this up. Little piece at the top there. It's going to get in the way. Push that down. I'm just lining this up now. Where I want it to be. pull this away first, this one. Just going to push that piece in there. And pull that one away. And that's the back piece on. I'll give that a rub down. We'll now go ahead and attach our front cover. I've already gone ahead and decorated the paper for this. Just got a normal piece of the 6x6 paper. I've just inked the edges quickly again with my distress ink just on the edge there, not overly distressed as you can see. I've added some crushed silk ribbon in a bow, and I put a little name plaque there with a couple of the pins with the green heads on with the flowers, just to bring out the green in the album, and a nice big gem to hide the sharp bits, and then I carried through with 3 more little gems on the side there. So I'm now going to attach that to the front of the book. I haven't written anything on here yet because obviously until I know who's going to get the album or what the album's going to be about, I haven't actually sort of written anything on there. So if I give it away as a gift, they can write their own what the pictures are about, or if I fill it with pictures, I can write on there myself. So I'm just going to put some tape down both sides again, and I think I'm going to put wet glue in the middle like I did on the back. So just stick that down on there, and then we can get this stuck down and have a look at our finished product. So as I say, this is based on the 6x6 album in an hour. However, this album you will not be able to do in an hour. It's going to take a little bit more time, but hopefully, because I've broken the videos down into stages, each page has got a different video. You know, if you make one day and want to come back and make another the next day, rather than starting right at the beginning and forwarded on to where you are, you can just go to the next video. So hopefully it makes it a bit easier for you. As I said, I'd love to hear your feedback and see ways in which I can improve what I'm doing. So it's always nice to know. If there's any particular projects that you would like me to do that I haven't done yet, do feel free to ask. I can always say whether I can do them or not. So I'm just going to stand up while I just line this one up now. I'm just happy with that. Sorry for me being a bit quiet. I'm just lining it all up there. Yeah. So I've got a mixture there of the double-sided tape and the wet glue on there. So we'll just give that a bit of a burnish down, because this is a very heavy embossed paper here that I'm sticking on the front cover. But I thought because it was a nice rich embossed, and being pink, it's from the same paper collection, so it sort of tallies in nicely, but it breaks down a bit of the green. So there we go, all finished. So that's another 6x6 mini album, based on the mini album in an hour, but it's got the interactive pages. So as you can see, the spine is sort of hovering, if you like. It's quite free, but obviously when you got it all stood up, it sits nicely in itself. I'm glad I cut those tags down so they fit nicely, and you can see that. So that's the outside of the album, and as we go through, it lays nice and flat. So we've got the tags in here for you to add journaling or extra photographs, anything you like. You can tuck in extra memorabilia and tickets behind there. You've got page 1 style that opens up like this. You've got plenty of space to put your 6x6, 6x4 photograph either horizontally or vertically. So that's quite nice. And that's got the magnet closure behind. You've got the tag in the middle. So you've got your tag there as well. You've got page 2, which opens up again. Let me just, the sun's now streaming through the windows, isn't it marvellous? So you've got plenty of photo mats there as well to add photographs. So it's great that it takes a 6x4 either as they are, horizontally or vertically, or you can cut them down. That one's got another magnet on as well, with extra mats in here. So that's great. That's got the photo closure. You've got another tag here in the middle as well. I haven't put any extra papers on these tags because I feel time you've got your photographs added to them, I think that's going to be enough on those. And then page 4 was the waterfall styled waterfall style page, and then on the back again we've got the tags in the little pockets. So that's the album all made and done. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed the fact it's broken down into lots of videos so you can do each one in stages, so you haven't got to keep forwarding and rewinding. I hope that suits you. So I'm Dawn from Dawn's Inspirations. I've got a Facebook page, so if you'd like to follow me on Facebook page, that would be great. And a lot of my followers actually put their pictures of the albums that they've made following my tutorials on their Facebook page. So if you wanted to post your pictures on my Facebook page, I'd love to see them. It's always nice to see how people have interpreted my tutorials. I've also got a Twitter account, so you can also follow me on Twitter and see what I'm up to. And obviously I've also got the website, and I'd love to see your comments on there. There's some online tutorials for sale on there too, but you can also contact me through the website. If you want to contact me privately, just go to the Contact Us page and you can drop me an email. Then that's private and that's not for everybody to see, and I can get back to you directly on that one. So I'm Dawn from Dawn's Inspirations. This is the 6x6 mini album with the interactive pages. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial, and bye bye for now.